Hello?
Hi, Eric. We can hear you.
Good. Okay. Um, here we go. Okay. You can see me
Yes, we can see
and you
you.
can hear me. Okay. And we are now on with the general public.
Yes, we're on live now, Eric.
Okay. Then let me start. It is a pleasure. Good evening or good morning to all our friends around the world. The challenges of an ongoing pandemic, new advances in diving technology, an aging diving population, that may be me, and an increasingly competitive and extreme nature in dive explorations has left many questions to be answered. Divers Alert Network, the world's most recognized and respected dive safety organization in the world, has for over 40 years supported divers around the world with vital services such as injury prevention, safety and educational programs, and life-saving evacuations. Dan World was created in 2009 to support divers around the world who are not permanent residents of continental USA. Members of Dan World have access to the vast resources through Dan to make diving safer and more enjoyable for all. I, Eric Makem, have been with Dan World since the start in 2009 and have met many of you at DEMA or through the web. I'll go over the guide to returning for safe diving. I'm joined by Valentin Rosado, my colleague from Belize, one of the world's top diving destinations. I'm jealous. I want to go there. Who will go over the benefits of divers for divers, APRO members, and business members trying to recover in an industry that has been very hardly hit. Now, okay, Valentin, let's go straight onto the slides, or we're continuing.
Yes, I think we can go right ahead.
Okay,
I will be presenting in a few after you.
okay. Return to Diving Safely seminar is another example of our value-added services to members. Remember, you don't need to copy all of these slides, as we will make them available for you on our Facebook page or on our website, or even email us and we can send you a copy. Dan's mission is to make every dive accident-free. Dan is a unique hub for worldwide networks of diving research and medics, and the source of information for divers and dive medical professionals alike. Dan is here for you, 24/7, 365. This is what we're going to do today. These are our topics. And I will be doing the guide for dive pros. Valentine will be giving you the benefits for divers, which includes in membership and coverage, which you all know. And Dan World benefits for APRO members, which includes in referral program, student dive program, prepared diver courses, and the Dan pricing for APRO members. And for business members, the benefits would take in the referral program, student dive program, HIRA, which is to analyze what you're doing, how you're doing it, and try to make it better for you, and how you can get a listing on the Dan Online Business Directory. and this Valentine will be going over with you. It's been a very long year that the majority of the world has been in lockdown. To return to normal, we should recognize the effect of this period of inactivity to ourselves, to our equipment, to our businesses, and take the steps needed to return properly. Inactivity. There's been many reasons for this. One has to address all potential issues for your individual reasons for inactivity and be honest with yourself. What was the period of inactivity? Remember, use it or lose it. The main steps to return are the same, but you may need to adjust your focus depending on what kept you away. How long has it been? Specific periods of inactivity caused by health, you may have changed, or the diving world may have changed. Fitness, even though you're an experienced diver and think that you're very fit, you have been inactive for some time. And do not forget to take all the steps needed. Don't try to go fast. Diving skills, go over these, starting with things like buoyancy, first aid skills. Take a DAN course. There's no better in the world. Health status. If you've been absent from diving for an extended period of time, consult your physician before you return. And when you do, look for the guidelines for lifelong medical fitness to dive. Review these and try to comply. They are important for normal health too. So really just look at these and don't try to be cheap with yourself. Okay? Go over them and do what you should do to get yourself healthier. The Dive Medical Participation Questionnaire. It's one that you do for yourself. And therefore, once again, don't cheat yourself. And honestly analyze everything that you're doing. And then make your plan to return to diving. Fitness. Dan can advise you on how to self-evaluate your fitness. When do you need a self-evaluation of by a medical professional? We can help you with that. Adults need two types of regular activity to maintain or improve their health: aerobic and anaerobic training. Aerobic exercise is defined as it's the type that keeps you going for sustained periods of time. Okay, a MET is defined as the measure of exercise intensity based on oxygen consumption. One metabolic equivalent, one MET, is the amount of oxygen consumed while sitting at rest. That's simple. 2 METs would be like walking around the room. 7 METs would be a simple, ordinary scuba dive. But if you get into currents, if you get into problems or other things like that, it can easily go up to 16 METs. And therefore, this is one of the reasons why you have to be in good condition. Aerobic exercise capacity. Diving, you don't need to be an Olympic athlete to do this, but you should keep yourself in good physical condition. You need to do at least 20 minutes daily of aerobic exercises. A great way to measure this is with a smartwatch. It's a simple way, and you can compete with yourself on a daily basis. Close your rings. It's fun. I do it all the time. Anaerobic exercise. This is the exercise that comes for short bursts. Every person's schedule is different. COVID taught me a lot about all of this. I thought I was in really good condition. Then my wife, during COVID, had me sitting down in front of the television with some beautiful women doing their on TV presentations. Oh, this is simple. I was wrong. Let me tell you, doing this, I could not bend properly, and there were muscles that I was using that I totally forgotten about. It wasn't the same as lifting weights. It wasn't the same as other things I was doing. I was sore initially, doing squats, doing stretches. And so learn to do these things, and I've learned how to make much better routines now. And on anaerobic exercise, I start with 60% of what I was doing before COVID, and I try to do 3 repetitions of do 3 different exercises 3 times, doing 30 repetitions of each one. And then at the end of it all, take a good 10-minute stretching period. I never realized how important that was until my wife taught me. Your equipment. Review manufacturer's specifications. Damage or equipment in need of maintenance, it's not always obvious. So check it over carefully. Some of you do your own repairs, but don't try to save money and cut corners doing it. Your life is too valuable. Those things should be serviced through qualified technicians. Inspect your gear before a trip. The time to find a leak is not after 10 minutes at 30 meters depth. No, that's not good. Inspect your gear before your trip. Change your batteries and take spares, as the specific type you may need may not be available where you are going. I lost a dive trip to caves in Jenny Springs, Florida, for exactly this reason. I couldn't believe it. They didn't have the batteries I needed for my rebreather. And I had to cancel in the middle of the trip after the 3rd day. So take your things and don't be cheap on changing batteries or other things that you may need changed. Inspect your equipment. Finding a problem in the middle of a dive, it's not the best method. That can be deadly. Your diving skills. All training agencies offer refresher courses, which provides excellent opportunities to refresh knowledge and skills. Refresh your skills by contacting your local dive store or dive professional about continuing education courses or refresher training. If you're going away, use the Dan Business Directory to locate a premium dive shop in the area that you're going to. It's online, it's there for you. If you need an instructor for a refresher course, you can always look on the DAN instructor directory, as DAN instructors are also dive professionals. Basic skills may be rusty, no matter how experienced you are. Repeat and repeat again until it's automatic. That's the difference between a novice and a great diver. Do the Dan World Online Prepared Diver course. Valentine will talk more about that in a moment. Your first dive after long activity. Take it easy. Diving is not a competition. Relax and enjoy yourself with shallow, easy dives in known areas. Do your dive checks. Don't cut corners. I will now pass this over to Valentine for the second portion of the presentation. Thank you, and we'll talk later. And at the end, you can ask all the questions you want or send us emails.
Thank you. Thank you, Eric, for that portion of the presentation. Let me go ahead and share my screen.
I'm jealous already. Is that in Belize? I want to go.
There you go. You have a full screen? This is not Belize, but I'm gonna continue Eric's presentation talking about travel plans. Now, after you renew and refresh, it's time to visit the destinations. This is really the fun part. Here we have, the good thing here in Belize is that, tourism has resumed. We have divers coming to the country on a regular basis now. People are feeling a lot more confident. But there is a lot of experience that of the practices that we've seen, after being diving for a long time, especially in the situations that we have right now. There is an additional health and safety protocol that needs to be considered. It doesn't matter what country you're visiting. Obviously, some countries like Belize have already resumed diving. Others are just starting to plan to open up for diving. And then some countries still don't have an anticipated date to resume diving. But for divers visiting, it's important to assist customers with your travel plans, because they might be planning their dives and they might not be aware as to all the entry requirements and travel restrictions in country. As dive professionals and as dive operators, we can assist our visitors, they're our customers, and we want them to come into the country. But we also want to ensure that they are familiar with all these safety requirements. Some of the common stuff that visitors ask are what are quarantine and infection protocols in country, what are recommendations for vaccination and testing. And I can tell you, for example, in Belize, if you have vaccinations already, people are allowed to travel without requiring testing. But in some countries, you would still require testing. So these are some of the considerations that need to be considered from country to country. And as dive professionals and operators, we can provide this information to visitors. Another common consideration is emergency medical care and hospitals. In the event that visitors come into the country, what resources they have available for the unexpected. Right? So sitting down at home, planning their vacation, they might not have direct access to this information. But if we're working with these divers and we're trying to attract customers, we can take a step ahead and find out this information and have it available to share with visitors. So it's going to be easier for them to plan their trips. Right? And what are other things that we can do as dive operators? From my experience working with some of the members, we found out that several have found the need to update their medical statement and forms, right? This is to kind of reflect the COVID-19 situation, and the medical statements that they use pre-COVID are still relevant, but they require some kind of updating to consider the safety protocols that we have at this point in time. Something that I realize is also important is to promote whatever safety protocols we have in place. So many countries would regulate dive operators to implement safety protocols. In some countries, the dive professionals and tour operators take it upon themselves to implement safety protocols, right? And if we have these safety protocols in place, it's going to be easy for divers to come and go. But I realize that sometimes we gotta, promote it and let them know these are the extra precautions that we have been taking. These are the safety tools that we have in place. And then your emergency action plans, right? Obviously, there is an additional risk situation when it comes to COVID-19 when running diving operations. And it was important to really visit our emergency plans and find out how we are able to update on our emergency plans and account for risks such as COVID-19. It doesn't mean that all the other diving risks are not relevant anymore. It just means that we have additional risks given the situation with the COVID-19 in different countries, right? And if we have visitors that are coming in that have been diving for the past year, for the past 3 years, they have been out of the water, it's important to ensure as dive operators that we're taking these precautions into consideration. Emergency training and equipment. Many countries, I think most countries, have had to take a break from diving. So what happens to this equipment that is sitting down in an office, in a dive shop? We tend to have corrosion. We tend to have, different factors that might make them not as effective as if they were operational. Meaning, when you use it on a regular basis, they tend to be good to go. But if they were stored for several weeks or several months at a time, it's important to really revisit this emergency training equipment and ensure that we have them, fully functional. Diving fitness and requirements. Yes, we want to encourage the visitors, as Eric mentioned, to to ensure that they revisit, how they need to prepare to resume diving. But at the same time, as dive professionals, we also need to ensure that we are still fit to dive, and that we're really considering what might be risks associated with people that have not been diving for quite some time, right? And the precautions they need to take to be ready to dive once again. Certification requirements. In some situations, I've been discussing with business members, and we find out that when people have been out of the water for a while, it is a very unique opportunity to introduce refresher courses and checkout dives. In some situations, they are made as optional. It's sold to the guests as optional, but especially when they have been out of the water for a while, it's an opportunity to kind of upsell your tours in the different destinations, right? Encouraging refresher course, checkout dives, encouraging continuing education is an opportunity to sell additional products to the visitors. As Dan World, we offer the dive accident coverage, and this is something that is a benefit for divers, but for business members and operators, it is important to reduce your risks, right? And most situations, when I have business members that make it, that really encourage their divers to secure dive accident coverage, I find out that they're a lot more at ease knowing that the divers that are coming through their dive shops have this sort of dive accident coverage, right? It minimizes their risk, and it assures both the visitor and the business members that if there is any unexpected in-water accident, that the divers will be covered, right? And it's an affordable way for divers to obtain insurance against the cost of diving injuries. And these in-water dive accident coverage that we offer is often left uncovered by primary health insurance, right? And the programs that we offer in the Dan World region is the prepared crew diver program, which is $109 US, and this is the preferred program. In some countries, we have the local diver program that's a little bit cheaper, but the coverage for the prepared diver is the best coverage that we have, and we encourage divers to secure whenever they're diving in different destinations. One of the benefits of the Dan in-water accident coverage is that once you secure coverage, you are part of the Dan membership program, and there's many benefits in addition to coverage that members have, right? And it's as easy as searching Dan World, and here's a link to the Dan World website where you can, look at the programs, you select join, or if you have been out of the water for a while, you can renew. If you have visitors that are wanting to renew and require assistance, just send us an email, and we'd be happy we're always happy to assist divers in renewing and explaining what the coverage are and making recommendations for them to become Dan members. Once they're a Dan member, their accident insurance benefits includes medical expense coverage, and this includes hyperbaric chamber treatment, which is something that divers ask on a regular basis, right? Is hyperbaric chamber treatment included as part of the coverage? And the answer is yes. In addition to physician and hospital charges that may be required, emergency transportation, including ground, air, or marine ambulance. The membership does cover extra transportation and accommodation, because in most situations, these would be divers that would be on vacation diving in destinations away from their home. It also covers accidental death and permanent disability. So as I mentioned in the website, once you Google Dan World, you can join, you can renew, and right on that website, you can see a summary of the coverage, and you can even access the detailed handbook that explains everything that is included in the coverage. But the most important thing is that Dan is recognized globally, right? It is a smart and it's an affordable way to cover the unexpected medical expenses. It covers diving accidents and injuries. It pays 100% of eligible accident medical expenses. And it includes a membership, right? Additional benefits that that members have is access to our resource library, which is located at the same website. There's tons of safety and medical resources. We have medical frequently asked questions. One of the most popular is the Ask a Medic. If you're in your diving destination and you have any kind of questions that you require and you want to contact a physician that has experience in diving, you can access that via the website, and it's one of our more popular services. We have accident case studies that you can read through if you enjoy reading. We have smart guides that you're able to print or access digitally. The Alert Diver magazine, that often covers a lot of information that is important for people that are interested in diving and diving safety. We have safety quizzes that we can use with divers, children, visitors, and we can use for continued education as well. Right, so all of these safety resources in the resource library are included in the Dan membership coverage. Right, these are already included in the Dan membership coverage. There's no additional payment for those. Benefit to APRO divers. So if you're a regular diver, that is what it covers you. Did I mention I'm in Belize? When you're in Belize, you often have a lot of background noise. So just cope with me with the background noise that we have going on. If you're a dive pro, the way to our APRO benefits is for members that are dive master and above. And one of the benefits that you have as a dive professional is that you can include entry-level divers, right, into your student medical coverage. You can provide subsidized student medical coverage to your entry-level divers. And here is a snapshot of the portal that shows you. You can just log into your web portal, add a student, you include their name and information, and they have coverage for the duration of their entry-level courses. So they have peace of mind knowing that in the event of an accident in the water, they will be covered. But at the same time, it reduces your risk as a professional, right? Knowing that both you and your student divers are covered, right? And it's also something that is value added because you're able to demonstrate to your students that you're giving them additional benefits during the duration of their training. As a diving professional, additional benefits that you have is discount on safety equipment. This includes first aid kits, oxygen units, and other safety training and tools that we have. You are able to participate in a member referral rewards program. So every time you're referring new divers to Dan World, you're earning rewards as part of that referral. We have risk mitigation tools that are available online for you to access. You know, the same tools that are available for regular divers. As diving professionals, you have much more use for these tools because you're able to use it with your visitors and your students. The Prepare Diver course online is something that is available at no additional cost. And I'm going to talk a little bit about the Prepare Diver course in the following slides. As a diving professional, you can also become a DAN instructor, or you can take the provider courses for the series of DAN safety training, including the basic life support, the emergency oxygen, the neurological assessment, and the hazardous marine life, right? We are getting ready to launch our Diving First Aid for Professionals program that includes certification for all of these courses. What is a Prepare Diver course? This is something that has not been very popular, but with the diving professionals and business members that have been using the Prepare Diver course, I can tell you that it's something that has been very, very beneficial to them, because whenever you have divers, before they visit the destination, you're able to send them this course that is free of cost to them and is free of cost to you. It's called a Prepare Diver course, and you're able to access on the same e-learning platform through the login portal. And this course has online multimedia that covers safety diving for divers and prepares them, right, to be a lot more comfortable before they even visit in country, right? So whenever they visit the destinations, they already have a lot of information about how to consider safety and precautions whenever they're diving. And in the situations where I know that divers have taken this course, it makes them a lot more comfortable, right? And they're very thankful to the business professionals. They're very thankful to the dive shops at the end of the course. It's all online, but they do get a completion card, right? And to be able to offer this course, they would require an invitation from an APRO DAN instructor, right? It's designed for new divers or divers that have been out of the water for quite a while and are feeling a little bit nervous about getting back in the water. And most important, right, something that I think is very important to note is that it also helps with risk mitigation, because before the divers come into the destination and they're in situations where they're uncomfortable or there might be problems with the skills, right? By going through the course, they would be a lot more prepared. So it minimizes the risk of the dive professionals. And I think that that is something that is very worthwhile for that program. Benefits for business member. Did my computer freeze? Hey, Eric, can you take over? Can you hear me? Something went wrong with my computer.
Yes, I can see that. I can hear you perfectly. And your picture is up, the Dan membership picture is up on the YouTube Live thing.
Okay, I only had a few slides left. Okay, so we're talking about the Dan membership, benefits to business member. So business members have the same benefits that regular divers and the dive pros have, but one of the advantage about business members is that if you're a diving instructor, you're able to provide student coverage for your divers, but the student divers will only be covered for diving with you as an instructor. As a business member, if you have a staff with several instructors and dive masters, you're able to provide that same student membership coverage for the entry-level divers, but they will be covered no matter with which dive master and instructor they will be diving once they're part of your diving operation, right? So I find out that that is something that's very useful, because in most situations, the individuals that are signing up students at the beginning of the day would be the dive shop managers that might not necessarily be diving professionals, but as business members, they're able to enroll divers in the student membership program.
Okay. If you wanted my slide, your slides from my screen, I can do it for you.
Please go ahead and do that. I'm going to continue with the presentation. So
therefore, you have to let me share the screen. You cannot share screen.
Yes, you can share it. Can you share it? I'm unable to do anything with my screen. Like, I can't even access any of the programs.
Oh. No, it's not letting me do it. Okay, just keep talking then. You've only got about 4 slides to go.
Yes, so the other slide was about additional benefits for business members, and this include discounts on safety equipment. So business members get the same DAN Pro member pricing. And they're also able to participate in the referral rewards program. So whenever we are dealing with the DAN World region, we're able to offer discounts for every 10 divers. You would be able to get an additional diver at no cost. And this is beneficial for business members because in most situations, they would cover the membership program for your staff. And if you have a staff that is 5, 10 divers, or you're enrolling divers within your destination, you're able to participate in this rewards program. The rewards program also offers commissions for referral to the DAN America region. So most of the visitors in Belize would tend to come from North America. I'm not certain what would be in other destinations, but if you are referring divers to our DAN America region, you're able to benefit from commission for each one of the referrals as well. The safety resources that we have in our library are accessible to
friends. This is Laura. Can you hear me from Dan World?
Yes.
Hi. I think we lost Valentine, so I'm going to jump in for him. I'm sure he'll be back in a few moments. So we'll just keep going until we get to there. I'm going to pick up where he was talking a little bit about business member benefits. Laura, can you hear me from Dan World? So let me make a couple of adjustments here. And we'll keep going. With the business member program, again, it's a program that there's no charge for dive operations in our area to join this program. Also, there's specific benefits in the business member program that are also available to dive professionals if they're a DAN member. So one of them is professional member pricing on DAN products like O2 kits, first aid kits, and other safety products. We also have the member referral rewards program, which is a way to get credits for when you refer your customers or your staff to sign up for the DAN dive accident coverage. We have some interesting tools such as the interactive risk mitigation tools, the HIRA assessment, which is the Hazardous Identification Risk Assessment Program, is one of those risk mitigation tools, and it's something that's available at no cost to all of the business members and the dive pros in our region. This is the Hazardous Identification Risk Assessment Program is something that you can do completely online, and it helps you to evaluate where in your dive operation are areas where you can better the safety and lessen the risk of accidents. And also we have the benefit of getting a listing in the Dan Dive Business Directory. It's an online directory where dive businesses are able to put information about their dive business to help get in contact with new customers. So those are a couple of the benefits that you can get as a business member. Hold on just a moment and we'll go to the next slide if I can figure out how to do that from here. Okay. And then also remember that business members can sign up for the subsidized student medical coverage, like Valentine had mentioned. This is a program where you can enroll open water students for coverage while they're taking the online course, while they're taking the entry level course, and it gives them a benefit of coverage for a limited amount, but again, it's a free coverage for up to $20,000 in case of the rare case they would get decompression illness during their entry-level course. This is a value-added resource for our dive professionals who want to enroll students in this program, because there's no additional cost to be able to do so if you're a DAN member. And then it also helps to lower your risk mitigation. It makes it less likely that a student is going to take any kind of legal action against a dive operation or a dive professional if we have those kinds of, if we have the dive accident treatment for decompression illness paid for by DAN, if the rare case the student would get any kind of accident for that. So those are the main things that I wanted to go over. Valentine already mentioned the preferred diver course, so I won't go in any more into there. And I do just want to sort of take a recap of some of the points that we talked about today with the Return to Diving program. We've got looking at periods of inactivity and appropriate steps according to how long you've been inactive. We've got looking at your health status and different things that may affect your health, reasons why your health status may have been affected while you were out of the water. Information about fitness and how to regain optimal fitness before you return to diving. We've got looking at your equipment, how that plays an important part in making sure that when you go back into the water, your equipment's not going to be a problem. We've got looking at dive skills, refreshing those, coming back up to speed on your skills, so when you get back into the water, you feel more comfortable with that. And also looking at travel plans. We've got information that we should consider when making travel, such as requirements for the area where we're going to be going, and the health status of the population where you're going to be traveling. So those are just some of the things that your customers are going to be thinking about before they come to dive with you as a dive professional. And if you're a dive professional where you personally take your customers to travel, those are some things that you can share with them as well. So just sort of to, again, close out here, remember that before you go anywhere, it's the diver's responsibility to be informed about these areas where they're going to be traveling. And as dive professionals, if we are in the dive destination, then we can help to keep customers who we know are coming informed about the requirements for this particular area they're going to be coming to. And if you're a dive professional who is going to be taking the group to travel, you can also help indicate resources where they can look to be able to find this kind of information. So again, that's the main thing that we wanted to convey today. We wanted to remind you that the PDF of the presentation is going to be published shortly after. We're going to try to put that in the chat. And also, if you have a dive group that you're going to be taking, you want to help inform them of some of these return to diving protocols before travel, we're going to have these webinars as well as our previous return to diving webinars available on Dan World's YouTube channel. So you can be sure to check those out as well. We're going to upload the recording probably by tomorrow. So those are the main things that we wanted to share with you today. And before we go, we definitely want to give a special thanks to our Dan members, the dive professionals, and the business members who support us, because without that continued support, Dan's mission, like the research and medical services and educational programs, just wouldn't be possible. So we really appreciate our members for making this safer for all divers. If you want to check out any other resources in the Return to Diving section, you can do so on our website. That's world.dan.org/return. We've got information on that website in English and in Spanish that you can check out. So thanks, everyone. I appreciate everyone's attention. And now we're going to go ahead and turn this over, I believe, to Eric. Are you still there, Eric? We want to go ahead and answer some questions. There's Eric.
Okay. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, very good. Any questions? Manuel, Manux, how are you doing? Recent diving incidents. Yes,
so Manux he asked the question, does Dan have some statistics of recent diving incidents or accidents that might be related to divers that recovered from COVID?
Yeah, I don't think we've got anything directly related to COVID at the moment. We've got lots of information, as you're aware, on what we can be doing over COVID. How to this presentation, for example. But stats, no, not yet.
Also, Manix, you should know that Dan is doing a COVID study. It's it's several years long, so we won't have the information for that study right away. But that study is going to be 5 years long, and we've already got 1,000 people enrolled in that study. So Dan is already started the study, and hopefully, after the 5-year period, we'll be able to publish the information. It's a questionnaire type study that follows up with the divers over the 5-year period after they've had COVID. Only divers who have been confirmed to have cases of COVID over various different degrees are allowed to participate. And so Dan is collecting the information as we go along. Also, I see another question in here from Vicky. Vicky says, thanks all of you for the webinar. So to travel from Mexico to Miami to Istanbul to Mali in the Maldives and return, where can I find information to make this trip? It will be in October. Eric, do you have any comments you want to make on that one?
Well, certainly, as far as dive accident coverage is concerned for it, which is what we do, you can go to, Vicky, you can go to world.dan.org and you can sign up for our coverage there. And you've got to remember that our cover is worldwide annual cover, and therefore you're covered everywhere, okay, for in-water dive accident. We don't offer 24/7 coverage, so therefore that you would have to look for elsewhere. But you can be certainly looking for that. And if you also go to our business directory in the Dan America page, you can find dive shops in the zone where you're going. So therefore you've got much better service from people that we know that will take care of you. Okay?
Thanks, Eric. I see we also have Valentine back.
Yes.
So Valentine, welcome back. We were just answering questions from the chat.
Yes, I'm not certain at what point I got cut off again because I kept on with the presentation, but that kind of happens, and I think I really wanted to share with the audience that something that we notice in the different destinations, that divers feel a lot more comfortable whenever they're diving in the destinations, and they're diving with diving professionals and business members that are part of the Dan membership network, right? When they see the safety equipment, when they hear about the training that divers have taken with Dan, it gives a lot more assurance to divers knowing that you're diving with diving professionals and business members that are here to the best safety standards when it comes to diving. And as business members, we know that this translates into more business in the different destinations and more return customers. So I want to encourage all our members and all our divers to reach out to us, send us email messages, and we'd be happy to tell you more about these different tools that we cover today in summary, and at the same time to facilitate and assist you in using these tools so that they can benefit your dive business and make your divers feel a lot more comfortable. I don't see any additional questions in the chat. I don't see any additional questions in the chat. Eric, I think we've covered plenty of time in this presentation. You want to share a few last words with our audience today?
Well, I just want to thank everybody very much for participating, and you can certainly be getting the presentation separately from on our web pages, or contacting us directly, and we will give it to you. And keep safe diving.
Yes, I also want to acknowledge our other representative. We have Virginia and Laura online with us today. All right, so I want to thank them for assisting us with this webinar, and I want to invite the audience to our monthly webinar. In a month's time, we're going to have a follow-up. So this is our second webinar in this series, and next month be tuned to our Facebook page and Instagram for updates about the upcoming webinar. And with that, let's go ahead and thank all our DAN members or diving professionals and our dive businesses for participating today, and for those that will be looking at the recording as well, and for being part of the DAN Global Network as well. Your continued support makes DAN's research, medical services, and educational programs possible. With your help, we make diving safer for all, right? Because the objective about diving is to go out, have fun, and be part of nature. So we are doing our part to assist you in that process. So thank you everyone once again for participating today, and feel free to send us a message, info@dan, and we're going to include the different links in the chat group, and we're going to be following up as well by sending you emails if to your Dan via the Dan membership program. So yes, with that, we want to close our live webinar and thank everyone for participating in the live webinar today.
Yes, thank you all. We're at your service. Okay. Good evening.